Hey, welkom bij de Data Discovery Channel. We zijn nog steeds op Data Saturday Holland in Kinepolis in Utrecht. And I'm switching to English again because we have a new guest, Holly Smith. Holly, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me here, and thank you for switching to English, otherwise I would be not particularly eloquent.
Don't you use AI to translate it live?
No, I do not.
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. Holly, can you briefly introduce yourself?
Sure, my name is Holly Smith. I work for Databricks in developer advocacy. So that is a lot of speaking to people to understand how they're using Databricks. What are the challenges that they're having? Are they using Databricks? Are they not using Databricks? Either is fine. There are many platforms available. But then it's also working with our internal teams as well to help them develop the features that are going to make an impact to people and that people are going to understand and they're going to want to use and they're going to love.
Yeah, okay. One of the big questions I have, today you hear a lot about Fabric.
Yes.
And not only today, but in the last year.
Mm-hmm.
I am a big Databricks fan, by the way. But
correct answer,
and I'm not saying that because you are here, but hey, you can confirm.
I can confirm.
But what should companies consider when they have to choose between a data platform like Fabric or Databricks, or should they not choose and use them together? What's the answer?
I mean, obviously, I'm incredibly biased, and everyone everywhere, including you at home, should be using Databricks for everything. That's obviously not a practical or a sensible answer. What we do recommend is that people, try out different products, but when they do try them, make sure that they are trying them in a realistic environment. I'm sure we've seen all those blogs where all these vendors say, TCPDS was like super fast. It's like, yeah, but no one runs that. No one does that. It's not a realistic thing to test out. So that's what I'd encourage everyone to do, is to test something out at scale that's representative of what you're going to be doing. And I hope you have a great experience with Databricks. And if it is the tool for you, that's great. But Databricks, there are many data things that you can do out there, and Databricks isn't going to do absolutely everything. So do pick the right tool for the right job.
Yeah, and you speak to a lot of different customers about their challenges and their solutions as well.
Uh-huh.
Is there a common challenge that the organizations have when you speak to them?
Is there a common challenge? I think everyone obviously wants to use data. Like, that's why we're all here. That's why we all have jobs. I think it's to what extent people want to be able to do it. And there's very few people that I speak to who are like, yep, we're happy, tick. We're happy and confident in what we're doing with our data. They always want to do more. We're here today. There's lots of people who are very much on the start of their data journey, and that's great. And they'll get some data and do some dashboards, and that's a great start. But there's so much more that can be done. Even if you are at the top end, people are wanting to make their own generative AI models with varying levels of success. And there's very few that kind of get to the top and say, okay, right, we're done. We're going to focus on something else now. It's always something that is worth pursuing to generate that value for your business.
Yeah, nice bridge to your session, I guess, because we know how to get value from data in, let's say, the traditional way. So just analyzing data and maybe also do some small predictions on it. But your talk is more about applying AI on data, right?
Sort of, not quite. It's around, so we've heard about generative AI. It uses huge amounts of data, but a lot of the people that have experience with these generative AI algorithms, they're not data engineers, they're not data people. And so being able to, it's rubbish in, rubbish out, right? You have to have good quality data for everything. And Gen AI is no exception. In fact, if anything, it's even more important. But how do you get hold of all that data? How do you assess it at scale? Like, we've not even talked about machine learning yet. Just being able to wrangle that amount of data is incredibly important and incredibly powerful. And I can share a bit of a secret story from Databricks here. So this time last year, we'd acquired a company called Mosaic ML. They did a lot of generative AI work. They were the best of the best. I mean, they still are. But then we acquired them, and they got to start using Databricks, and they were blown away by how good it was. I've never seen such enthusiasm for notebooks. They're like, I Oh, we love notebooks. We can see what other people are doing and we can work collaboratively together. We love this idea of clusters that we can spin up and spin down, and we can get them to distribute everything, and we can process so much more data in such a quicker way. And then we have things like Unity Catalog on top of it as well, so that you know whose data set it is, when did they last update it, what has it got in it, all of these other things that if you're used to kind of disparate data sets just stored on an S3 bucket somewhere, that you're not going to get. So, you know, that team are incredibly talented, and with being able to use Databricks, they're so much faster in the development work that they've been able to do. And if you read some of the press releases, you know, some of them had quotes from Jonathan Frankel, who is one of the chief guys there, you know, saying that they had an extra 2 weeks to develop something. Like, when was the last time you heard of an AI project finishing early? Like, it was only meant to be 3 months anyway, and then they finished early. So there was a lot of learning from our side, there was a lot of learning from their side, and I guarantee that so many people are wanting to do this kind of work and not, as data engineers, not knowing how they can be helpful, but yet they really can, and they're going to have such a big impact in what they're trying to do. And I think it's a real big shame if people don't know how powerful their own skills are.
And that linked to your sessions, what are the 3 key takeaways from your session?
Oh, the 3 key takeaways.
If you've got 2, it's also fine, right? I'm not going to judge.
Start with the most important one.
I mean, I think the big overarching topic is that these 2 topics of data engineering and AI, they do overlap, they do intersect, and you do need each other to be successful in these things. I won't necessarily be able to teach absolutely everything about AI, but it's more kind of what are the tricky parts that you might not realize you need to get to work to stick together. So things like, your data engineering, just processing that amount of data, but also things like vector databases. They're just a fancy type of database. Like, we all know what a database is, but it's just a slightly different version, and there are some considerations that you might need for that. Things like version control, DevOps, data ops, ML ops, AI ops, like all of these
X-ops,
things. FinOps, governance ops, security ops. Again, if you're an AI researcher, you've probably never come across these terms before, and as the data people, we are very aware of what these things are and what's needed to get them done. And then finally, a lot of it is kind of managing upwards as well. There are a lot of enthusiastic management execs, leaders out there, they want one AI and they want it now, but they can't necessarily articulate what that means. And part of the talk is helping people to articulate, you know, what is realistic, what is going to take time, what is actually quite easy to do, where the bottleneck's going to be. So it's a series of practical things.
Sounds like a great session to really demystify and bridging the gaps between different disciplines.
Absolutely, yes.
Awesome.
And then if they get back to their office on Monday, what do you want them to do besides maybe...
if. I really hope they do get to their office on Monday.
Nice one.
What is happening? What are we doing at this conference? Sorry, back on Monday. Yeah, it's all about that confidence and being able to start having those conversations and start saying, hey, boss, you know, that team over there, I think we could really help them. I'm not trying to take their work away. I'm not trying to change it. But I think there are things that we can do that are going to have more impact and make them faster.
Sounds like a good plan for a Monday morning.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, good luck with your session.
Thank you very much.
Lots of fun in presenting it.
And if you bring this energy, the crowd's going to love it. Thank you for the energy and the passion. It really...
After lunch as well.
You would be a good session after lunch. Thank you very much, Holly, for being here.
No, thank you so much for having me.
Have a great day and we'll see you around next time.
Yeah, hopefully. Thank you so much.
En tot de volgende keer.
Bye bye.